This is garbage. Don't know why they're trying to remake the classics. Never as good as the originals. That lone line is a perfect summation of Home Sweet Home Alone, which is a remake slash reimagining slash complete desecration of the classic Home Alone movie that came out in 1990. But you know what? Everything is being remade and reimagined, and not every single remake is bad. Even if you can't reinvent the fucking wheel, you can try to have life and energy like the first one, and even the second one that wasn't quite as good but had a sweet message. And then you had the third movie, the fourth movie, the fifth movie that had diminishing returns and also weren't all that good. But you know what? You can excuse direct-to-video movies for not being that good and having a smaller budget and everything. You would think after 31 fucking years in Disney funding this goddamn thing and putting it out on Disney Plus, you would think that they would put some thought into this. You wouldn't think they would try to basically have a movie that was just a series of set pieces and bad comedy spots and using pretty talented actors with some of the worst writing and some of the worst direction and some of the worst, comedy and some of really just the worst of everything. This was a complete butchering of the classic. It's too early in the review for me to say the word fuck, because fuck this movie. Fuck everybody who goddamn made it. It was fucking atrocious. Now, I'm not talking about the actors being bad. In fact, I think if anything, they had to have had some stuff held over their head by Disney. Maybe Disney knew some dirty secrets and held them like the sword of Damocles over them and said, be in this remake and we won't release them. Ha ha ha. And yeah, again, there are some talented actors in this. There's the kid that said, not a good time to be a Nazi in Jojo Rabbit. Archie Yates, who actually is pretty good. He's the kid. He's a kid and gets referenced as Harry Potter a few times. I'm sure he heard that a whole lot in his short life. Pam was played by Ellen Kemper. And Jeff was played by Rob Delaney. Rob Delaney, pretty talented actor. Also, Aislinn B., who I did look up a little bit of stand-up of her. And she actually is pretty funny and pretty talented. And I hope she can be in American movies in this. Even though, yes, technically, it's a U.S. and, UK thing, like Human Centipede together, and it's trying to be all happy and energetic and holiday and everything, and that's why I'm wearing this hat. Want a little backstory on this hat? When I was working at another store, a very nice elderly lady and her husband, they were going around handing hats to people that were nice to them. And that was at least 10 years ago, 11 years ago, and she was really nice, and it was really a sweet gesture. So I keep this around, and I use it for holiday movies, so yay! Also, that bell, this hat had more thought put into it than this fucking movie. I hated this. This was objectively fucking terrible. Fucking terrible. I thought Nobody Sleeps in the Woods Tonight 2 was the worst movie of the year. Nope. This fucking shit was the worst. Hey, I should wear this hat more often. That would absorb the blow right there. This fucking shit is some of the worst comedy, some of the worst stuff that I've seen in a while. And yes, obviously kids might enjoy it, but I don't know, because this is such lowbrow comedy, and the way they try to tie the story up, again, the spoilers here in a little bit, it completely negates any of the shit that we've seen, and boy, do we see a lot of shit. One, every character is just not even cartoonish in a funny way, not even in a funny comedy way where like kids might get some humor out of this. No, they're just caricatures. They're every stereotype from the known universe, unknown universes that were in Christopher Nolan's Interstellar. And because this movie reminded me of Christopher Nolan's Interstellar, I am casting it to the depths of hell, along with everybody at Disney that greenlit this, thinking it was going to be a good goddamn idea. Also, Kenan Thompson was in this as a side character, and Buzz McAllister. Yes, one of the characters was a callback from the first one with the same guy that played Kevin's older brother in Home Alone and Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, Electric Boogaloo. Okay, so they might as well just, retooled Archie's line. Not a good time for a remake that nobody fucking asked. Who asked for this? Who asked for this? Did Disney think it was a good idea to just take a shit and a piss and just eviscerate the corpse of John Hughes? What the fuck? John Hughes, who had life and energy to his movies. I'm not saying John Hughes was the most amazing director ever, but goddamn, what the fuck? What was this? Who would this appeal to? Okay, so the plot, such as it fucking is, involves Carol, Aislinn B. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing her name. I do apologize for that. I'm trying to calm down a little bit. She has her son, Max, played by Andrew Yates. By the way, if you notice, I haven't mentioned the director, because the director of this, Dan Mazer, directed 6 episodes of the Ali G Show. I believe helped write the Borat movies, or at least one of them, and also directed the movie Dirty Grandpa. So yeah, fuck this. This movie was doomed from the fucking start. Also, it was written by Mikey Day and Streeter Siddell. I think I pronounced that right. I don't really give a shit, because I'm sure they're lovely people, but this movie will, again, is most deserving of being cast into the depths of hell. And yeah, happy holidays and all that and everything. Does this capture the Christmas spirit? No. Because it's about everybody that they may not be... They're just people. They're just characters, but they're doing stuff where it's like, okay, these people that have these motivations are doing this stuff and eventually get angrier. And then you have the main antagonist, or the main protagonist, rather, the kid, being really kind of a goddamn dick. I mean, yeah, kid, misinterpreted a couple things, but now he's just being a dick. He's not being, very nice and everything. Nobody is really a nice character here. But then everybody try to wrap it up in a nice little bow at the end and everything. It's all happy and holiday and everything. And look, I'm not the target audience for this fucking movie, but I figured, what the fuck? I've seen good remakes. I've also seen Black Christmas 2019. I've seen plenty of TV shows turned into movies that were goddamn bullshit. So, plus such as it is, Max gets left at home because the family flies to Tokyo on 2 separate planes. Gee, it's almost like this movie decided to take cues and then take those cues and stick them in our fucking eyeballs. Break out the pool cues, stick them in our eyeballs, which is actually less painful than watching this shit. I hate everyone, I hate everything in this movie as far as characters, not the actors. Hope the actors continue to be in better stuff. But... it all comes down to this rare doll that it turns out Jeff had from a collection that he had when he was a kid. And Jeff and Pam are going to have to move out of their house. They haven't told their kids. Kenan Thompson plays a real estate guy that has to kind of play foolish Dante, foolishness. And he basically has to say, okay, well, don't tell the kids. I'm not going to tell the kids, but you need to take this offer from these rich people because Jeff lost his job. Pam's job, while good, is not enough to keep the house that they grew up with their kids. So this doll ends up going missing during this open house thing because Carol takes Max to get his to use the bathroom, and he's looking at these dolls and he looks at all this energy soda and everything, and it's all sugary and it ties back. He's just a kid that just wants stuff. And also it turns out that he doesn't really like hanging around with a whole bunch of his family members, which I don't blame him because they're all fucking dicks. And seriously, kids, I fucking hate kids. Seriously, I don't think you understand how much I fucking loathe children. They deserve to be raised in a good goddamn home. None of the kids in this goddamn movie were worth rooting for. Every single one of them were, well, okay, that's unfair. Actually, 2 of them weren't that bad, but Max is a fucking bastard. Everybody, 90% of the people in this movie are fucking bastards, and then there are just a few people there who are just, barely fleshed out characters. So, there's these dolls. Jeff looks one night and sees that, hey, one of these dolls is really expensive. I could sell, it's like, oh, it turns out they're actually rare because Carol notices a couple of these dolls are rare. He does some auction searching and finds out, hey, wait a second, I need this doll. And then they go to the house because Max has taken it, because the last time they saw it was when Max was around the box. They thought Max or Carol might have taken it, so they're like, we need to get it back. And at first they're just trying to get it back. He does really bad comedy trying to talk to Carol's family, doing all this, and then through a series of unfortunate events, like this fucking movie starting and ending, not nearly fucking quick enough. That was a series of unfortunate events that just went on and on and on and on. The exchanges are really bad. The comedy was really bad. The writing was fucking atrocious. I mean, it was like how white people... It's like how a white AI program written by a white person thinks that white people would talk. That's the only explanation I can come up with for how bad the writing was. Because it was fucking excruciating. Every line literally made me want to gouge my eyes out, gouge my ears out, and just say, why am I watching this? Why am I watching this? And maybe I'm taking it too seriously, but... if you're going to remake something and you're going to do it this badly, then it deserves to be fucking eviscerated. This might actually be... this is almost as bad as Artemis Fowl, which came out last year, is just shoved out on Disney Plus, and it makes sense as to why that was shoved out. If this had been released in theaters, I think almost every parent, every child would have been either demanding a refund or trying to set the theater on fire, which would have been more entertaining than anything that happened in this fucking thing. So Max overhears Jeff and Pam breaking into the house and everything. It's like, oh, we need to steal that ugly little boy, and we need to get, and somebody will pay us $200,000 for it, which is more than enough money to do that. Even though I could have sworn like the screen actually said $2 million, but I could be totally fucking wrong. The whole point is hey, they could actually save their goddamn house and do all this stuff and everything, and save their house and holidays. Hooray! Merry Christmas. Fuck this movie. Fuck it. It hurts. It hurts so goddamn bad. You know what? It gets to where Max has to defend his home and do with a whole bunch of stuff that, a whole bunch of traps that are just absolutely ridiculous. And yes, it obviously is an advanced movie from 1990 and everything, but that had life and energy, and Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci and Macaulay Culkin, and actually had good direction, and actually people understood what the fuck comedy was. Nobody in this movie understands what comedy is. It's like they thought, they looked up the definition of comedy and said, okay, we're going to do that, except we're going to do it in the worst fucking way possible. This is like the worst Leslie Nielsen movie, which is unfair because this doesn't even have Leslie Nielsen. It doesn't even have the influence of John Hughes. Maybe the crap of John Hughes that was found in a septic tank after 30 years because it was never fucking drained. And actually, you know what? That's unfair because John Hughes' crap that's 30 years old could have written a better movie than this. Could have directed a better movie than this. John Hughes' Ghost could have directed a better fucking movie than this. And it just gets worse and worse. And now I'm going to get into spoilers. Watch it if you want to with your family, but your kids are probably going to fucking hate you. Because I know if I had kids, they'd fucking hate me. I mean, everybody fucking hates me anyway. But let's get into spoilers and talk about this. Okay, spoilers. Anyway, so the whole thing about the doll going missing and everything, and Max doing all this stuff like spraying a hose down and stopping and making them slip and everything, making the people slip in through bad comedy, and getting Pam getting her feet set on fire and doing all this stuff while their daughter's doing some choir stuff and actually really doing well on the choir and everything. And then they even did more fan service by having Buzz McAllister on a police call saying, oh yeah, well this, my brother pulled off the same prank. So it's McAllister, there's McAllister Home Security and everything, because apparently that's the only influence that we have to drill into somebody's fucking skull here. Wait, I'm sorry. There, better. Didn't hurt, hat, and he's like, so no, I don't believe it. It's a prank call. No, it's a prank call. And then somewhere in my memory, the song plays with all the subtlety of a freaking ice pick being stabbed into your goddamn eye. In fact, remember Die Hard 2 when the guy stabbed the ice pick, when John McClane stabbed the ice pick into the guy's eye? That would have been less painful than dealing with this. Would have been less ear splitting, less eye splitting. This movie was an assault on all five senses, and not even a good assault. So, look, I understand if you're trying to make a Christmas movie, you're trying to have fun, you're trying to do what, you're just trying to capture the spirit, that's fine, but it's like they never watched a movie in their life. They never understood comedy, they never understood any of this. So the whole point is, Max has to defend his home that's being wrecked up and everything while his mother's trying to fly back home. And he manages to, beat them up or whatever, beats up Jeff, beats up Pam, pool balls and everything, and all this fucking bullshit. And then it turns out that who had the doll? Well, there was an aunt and uncle that came to the house that had a kid that they were trying to teach Spanish to, and they're also rich and paying for the kids' gifts and stuff like that. But it turns out the kid had the doll. Their kid had the doll, and then he threw it. Because he's a fucking little dick, because kids are goddamn dicks. Merry Christmas, kids. And they caught it. Max, who got taken to the house because Pam and Jeff felt so horrible, they're like, oh, honey, we're so sorry. We're going to have you stay there until your mom gets back. It's all a misunderstanding, despite the fact we suffered head trauma and slipped and broken bones and anal bleeding. What? Wow. The kid throws a doll and Max catches it so they can sell the doll. And then Carol walks into the house and sees the house destroyed. Max says, there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for this. And then 1 year later, everything's happy-go-lucky. They used the money from the doll to pay for the mortgage, pay for their trip to Europe, pay for all the stuff and everything. Jeff has a job, so hooray there. But here's the thing about the twist. The whole thing about it was Max had taken the doll and not meant to, but not realizing it was valuable. Okay, they wanted the doll back. Simple. And then it turns out that the doll was in their house the whole time. Negating every gigantic crap-tastic scene that happened in this movie. It already was stupid anyway, but I was like, oh wait, it was all a misunderstanding and we can blame this other kid that threw the doll because he was a dick like that. And now everything's happy-go-lucky 1 year later and all that and everything, and then all like this. And whoever greenlit this at Disney deserves absolutely, like, they deserve to answer for crimes against film. F. Get the fucking F. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I don't mind remakes. This was terrible. Fucking terrible. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle. Worst movie of the year. I'm John Ritland. Fuck Home Sweet Home Alone. Fuck anybody who kidding. Fuck anybody who made this goddamn movie. Don't fuck the actors, but fuck anybody who greenlit it. See you soon.